Hello everyone. This is our next lesson to start create a table in object management workbench. So in the first path, enter OMW um, to open the object management workbench. Just did find. I have created different projects, but we are going to use object SKS 55001 project to create our table. So far there are a couple of objects created. What I am going to do, I'm getting some messages, so please ignore that. So I think the object, the media object is not properly installed, but that's fine, it will not create any problem. um, uh, as we proceed with these relations, I'm going to cover only what we're going to do. You will notice a couple of other functionality while creating this table, but don't worry about that. We'll cover those points in our next lesson or in our future lessons. So click add, and then we're going to create this will open the object librarian window, so where you will see all different um, objects you can create, like object librarian object, control table object is this area, then workflow objects, object management workbench, report definition object, business services development. So we'll cover in different lessons, so for each one we'll have a separate lesson. So let's select a table and click OK. We're going to create a custom table for our address book. So as you know, that all the table names started with F55 is our custom code, 01 is our system code for address book, and we'll give a sequence number to table. So we'll give a description, uh, address book work table, and this is a product code. um, so I did a little mistake here, so you can correct now, or you can come back and change the description. I'll show you how to do that if in case you enter a wrong description. So in the product code, if you like, as you know, we are creating the system code, 55, give 55. So by default it will take 55 in the product system code. If you want to keep product system code, it's fine. If not, like if we want to go with because we are creating for the address book, so let's give 01. That is our address book, but we are creating a custom table which we already assigned 55 in our product code. So here, so the object used by default, it will be file, and we are going to create a file. There are many more, we'll see later, so don't worry about that. So let's give every table we have to give a prefix. So let's give BA, so it should be or you can give AB, AM, whatever you like, whatever you designed in your process. So click OK. So now you will see whatever you entered, uh, mm, you can see here it will give you an option, what description you give. This is the object type. By default, it will, the system will assign TBLE, that's the object type. So let's go to there are a couple of other options you'll notice here, like summary, design tools, table operation, category, installation code, attachment. So let me cover the attachment. So let's give a brief description. This is um, a work table created to process address book. Like for your project, you can give whatever name you like, for what purpose you have created. So let's go to design. So you can notice BA and the prefix we already assigned, so by default like it will display you here. You'll see there are a couple of icon here, like start table design aid, start table trigger design aid, build table triggers, browse table triggers, event rule, generate header file, event rule compare. So let's go with we are not going to cover anything except the start table design aid. Other things we'll cover in next lesson, so don't worry. So let's select start table design aid. So it will open you the window. You'll see uh, like four window here, like column, indices, data dictionary browser, and object properties. So data dictionary is basically like where we are bringing, because in the table we have different columns, right, which we call data item. So data item we are selecting from the data dictionary. What is data dictionary, what is data item, we'll cover in data dictionary session, the lesson. So let's give um, mm, we'll put n8. If you press enter, it will show you. So we are going to select, either you can double click or you can drag and drop it here. So it will bring. So once it will bring, so you selected n8, the address book number. If you'll see the right bottom corner where it says object properties, you will see what is the table name, the data item name, and a description. Basically it will give you, display you the properties. So let's give uh, mm, so if I'll press enter, so it's alpha name. If I'll double click, so it will automatically bring in the top. If you click there, it will show you. So let's give 81. So let's double click, so that is all selected. So then you add user, so let's put that the PID, which is the program ID. I'll tell you like why I'm creating all this. We'll cover that one soon. IPJ, which is the updated date, then T day, which is basically selected here. Another thing you can do, if you want to bring up and down, so you can select here, you can drag and put here. If you want to put address type below the address number, you can do that. So you can drag and drop, like program ID, you want to top, you can do that, or if you want to bottom, you can do that too. So you can basically organize the way you want. So but by default it will keep on adding to the bottom of the data item once you select. So these are the data item or data columns we want to keep in our table. So any table you created, you have to assign a primary key, so which is basically the indices. So here it is a mandatory. So you can create multiple key, but one will be your primary key. So what we are going to do, our address number is the primary key. We just select here. So see, you notice below the arrow key is like a box type of little icon. That means you selected, drag and drop on the indices address book. So once you click, it will show you add new index using the column, yes or no. Basically it's a prompt screen, like what you want to add. So notice there is a key, but there is a small p in the below that. That means it is your primary key. So let's create another key. So let's again, I'm going to keep my second key will be address book number and address type. So let's drag and drop here. Add a new index. Yes, we are going to add. So notice here there is another key added, but there is no p here. So that means all other key are not the primary key. There is another index, but only one it created for each table. So for this one, I'm going to add two keys. So I'm going to drag and drop on untitled, not on the address book. So that way it will add address book number and address type. Just to know, just to see the key name, you can give like an8, then you can give comma, 81. So that way you'll able to know what are the columns assigned like in that uh, index. um, so here you can do like AN8. We'll know why we are doing that way, what is the use of it. We'll see in the next lesson. Like it will help like whenever you start creating your program, like suppose you are doing a update function or you are doing a insert function. So when you select a table, it will show you the key, and you'll able to know which indices you are going to select. So that is in the in one of the future lesson we'll see that. So let it be. So we created two keys. So as we know, one will be the primary key, so where we selected N8. Once you select that, in bottom it will show you the properties. So second one is we created another indices where address book number N8 is the key, as well as we have selected AT1, which is address type. So now this is we have created what we need to create. But so let's give file, let's save. You can save here, or you can do, if you do a exit, it will show, it will prompt you if you have not saved. So we created the structure, basically the table structure. The table is not yet created. So let's go to table operation. Again, in this tab also you will see so many options like generate table, generate index, remove table from database, that promote synchronization file, copy table, default Oracle parameters, and then database object sizing. So we'll cover each one of them, but in this lesson we are going to cover only two, which is generate table and generate index. So uh, okay, when I said it's not created, let me show you something. So let's go here, go to UTB. This is basically we called universal table browser. So you can see the table, or you can browse the table, and you can see the data, what are the data in the table. So we created F550101, right? So you will click OK. So you'll see a error message. So you must be wondering, I created the table, why it is not showing? We have not created the table yet, we just created the structure. So we have to generate the table to view it. So let's go back to our browser. So now I'll click generate table. So once I click generate table, it will show you on the screen, and you'll see all the table, object ID, and password. So if you want to assign a password, you can do that, but usually we won't do that. So you have to generate, because once you started using this table, so um, uh, from access point of view, it gives some security. So let's leave as is, just click OK. It will give you a message if it is generated successfully. So generate successful, good. So we are good. Create generate index, because you remember we created two indexes, so we have to create the index 2. So that is also successful, so we are good. So let's go back now to UTB. So now click OK. See, here you go. So it will show you the table structure. See, we created we have taken like 7 columns, like N8, 81, LPH, so you must be seeing, no, wondering, we gave N8, why, what is this BA? So remember, when we initially create and like add the table, we give a prefix called BA, so that will be automatically assigned to each column. So look for first column BA N8, second column BA 81. So every column will prefix with BA, so it will automatically assign. Will you find you will not see any record. If you click on the find button, so you will not see any record. So basically the table is created. Now let's go back. So we created here Let's don't worry about other icons like remove and all these things, table, copy table, so we can come back later and we'll see. Category code we'll discuss later. Let's leave it. We'll, um, we'll cover each of them. So click OK. You can click OK here or cancel here, doesn't matter. So once you generate, it's generated. So once you click OK, so it will come back to the object management workbench. So that's basically like once you see in UTB it is created, that means your table is ready. The structure is created and it's ready to use. So you can use in your program wherever you like. So this table is good. Um, and if you want to suppose, let me tell you another thing. We added 7 fields, so we noticed. Oh, okay. We forgot to add another column, so you can go back and add a column to this table, and you have to regenerate. Remember, when you add another like data item to the existing table, you have to regenerate it, both index and table. And when you regenerate, if you by chance added the data to this table, the data will be deleted, so be careful. So that's why first design what table column you want to consider for the table, uh, put in your notebooks, then you create. But still you can, like if you forgot, you can add it, but it will remove the data. So if you're okay with that, you can do that, or you can take a copy of the data, then you add your data item, then you generate the table and index, then you copy back. So you can do that too. So another thing you need to remember, when you add, by default it will add to the end, and if you want to put in between the column, you have to be a little bit careful. If the table is already used in the program or a business view, already you have already done some programming, so don't add the data item in between the column. So it should always, it will go to the end of the column, like after t day it will go. Don't add in between. If you add, then you have to rebuild everything. So remember this one. And we'll cover as we started doing the programming, we will cover those things slowly, but just for your note, remember that. So now if you go here, so we created in the SKS project, so you will see your table and you will see a little red tick mark. That means it is in checkout status. It is available to you only in your development box. It is not yet available to the enterprise server or any other resource. So once you do like a check in, then you are putting into the server, then they will build, deploy, the CNC team will build and deploy. So that time anybody can go ahead and use that table. Okay, so that completes our relation how to create a table. um, okay, so see you in our next lesson. Thank you everyone watching this lesson. So